the Gladiators. I'm excited for this best of 7. It's Wildcard. Are Moist going flawless? Are the Gladiators going to catch them off guard? Swords are out. Let's get on the field.
EU versus APAC. Finally, get onto the pitch here. Moist and Gladiators, and everyone picked Moist. As I said, let's see, can Gladiators pull something out here? Can they shock the world against Moist, or will Moist do what we all predict? We'll have to see.
Yeah, was it hashtag get wet? What is the Gladiators? I know it's GG, but that sounds like doomy, gloomy. Hashtag get dry, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know about that one either.
Don't know.
We got to workshop that one later.
But maybe Gladiators, the way they can work this in is, can you get in between the passes of Moist, who connect well on that front? Gladiators known for those solo plays. If you can get a lucky challenge, maybe you can steal this away, make the magic happen. Either way, it's a quick offense for Moist, building up towards the box, and good blocks. Gladiators, LCT, taken to the skies. Juicy, easy send away.
Yeah, I think the big thing for Gladiators defensively, you have to slow down the solo plays from Moist Esports. You cannot allow Joyo and Cash and Juicy to run all over you. Can't give them space either, and a lot of passing coming out from Moist as this one heads towards the Gladiators net. And still Moist trying to hang on, but LCT with a quality clear. And so far, Moist certainly controlling the possession.
Cute little shot by OSM. Oh, Joyo to the left, and where's the follow-up? Cash! Yeah, it took a second. Well, that's just because he's lining it up.
Yeah, he was a little late getting to this one. I think he went out, yeah, he went and got the mid-boost there, came back to the play. Gladiators couldn't get there in time and slotted top right for Cash. Moist, 58 seconds, and they're on the board.
I think it was a productive offense for Moist, who spent about a minute getting set up and really testing the limits of Gladiators, who had one counterattack, but it was a soft shot. LCT trying to fake out Joyo. And now the offense continues from Moist, but now you see OSM holding onto the ball. Juicy thinks that's an opportunity to crack that open. Joyo has his back, pushing through the right lane, and wanted that pass to Cash. I don't know what happened there. The Gladiators, they have a chance to clear, but still not having a decisive touch to get that out.
Yeah, that's the right word there, is they just didn't make a decision there behind the ball, and then a whiff. OSM able to clear it away. Gladiators getting trampled here on their own side. Just saw a moment ago on your screen, a little bug came up. Oxygen taking down Power. Or excuse me, they didn't. It's best of 7. It's 3-2 right now in favor of Oxygen. As that one heading on the A stream at the moment. This is the B stream.
Welcome, I guess.
If you've been here, welcome. And if you're still here, great. Moist looking to score second as Cash gets over one in OSM. A quality clear to get Gladiators out.
Oh, and Max is just getting bullied off the ball. And it feels like Moist are being more physical, just bumping them off the ball. And Joyo, look at all the freedom he has. The double tap, but not the angle he was looking for. Gladiators are letting Moist have a bit too much freedom. Here's the counterattack from Gladiators. The 50s popped up, and well, the follow-up from Gladiators gets demoed, so Moist were able to move downfield.
Yeah, haven't been punished yet, Gladiators defensively. Like you said, space given over to Moist. Moist haven't been able to execute on it quite yet. But just past halftime, and Gladiators, they're really trying to slow the game down. They want to bring the ball down and dribble out, take the first man on. Joyo, flip reset, can he go all the way? Follow up there from Juicy. Gladiators try and stabilize.
That was a good effort by LCT. We were talking about, can you get in the middle of Moist's plans, their passes? It's OSM. We're kind of 50 to neutralize that before Moist were able to turn it around. And now going into the second half, only 1-0. Joyo to Juicy. Another interception by Gladiators. Goes to the corner. Gladiators haven't been strong on the clears, but they've been strong at blocking most of everything. 2-0 for Moist.
Almost everything for Gladiators. They've been weathering the storm, but finally, in the eye of the hurricane, Moist come through, doubling up their score, and they have had all the possession, all the offense, and all the opportunity here in Game 1. Gladiators have struggled to get out from their own side.
The Gladiators are surviving, I think is the key word, and counterattacks haven't done anything, and any mess up, any flop on stopping Moist Esports from doing anything on the offense is, well, how this happened.
You're not going to get Joyo. He's got the headband on, man. It's Game 1, and he's sweating, and he's looking good. 3-0 for Moist. And Joyo making it look easy. That was a tough shot. He had a longer aerial there and then used his flip to catch up to the ball. He's still got a beautiful touch on target.
Kind of almost faked him out there, and Moist still defend. They really haven't been threatened too much. Gladiators have had a small handful of counterattacks, but just trying not to drown in the Moist offense that just is doubling up on the net with only one defender there. Moist are ramping up.
Really cohesive look here from Moist. Look at this, Juicy feigning the touch. Cash comes through. Moist knew the entire time it was the cannon to put that one away. And Juicy throwing a little head fake. 4-0 now for Moist Esports.
Started with just kind of this slow 1-0 for Moist, and now getting cheeky off the kickoff. Moist have scored more into the second half as they're warming up. Gladiators just haven't been able to predict these passes. And Moist, that's how they're able to crack this defense. Look at Juicy go past LCT. Gladiators have their net layered up, but that means there's no one to step up and look for these clearances, which Gladiators struggle to make that space in that orange half. These 50s, if Gladiators can recover off of them, maybe a more fruitful counterattack can happen.
Yeah, I mean, really, Gladiators are relying on a counterattack at this point, and the demo comes out from Juicy. A stat we don't really mention that much is how many touches a team is getting on a ball compared to the other. Right now, 63% of the touches on ball are going towards Moist Esports. I think just that stat alone paints the picture of how game one has gone. They have been peppering the net, they've been peppering the back wall. Moist all over Gladiators right now. Here comes Cash on the shot. It's denied by LCT.
And LCT defensively has kept this only to a 4-0 when I think it could have been a lot worse. LCT with a long clear, and I would like to see Gladiators have more midfield presence or have someone ready to have a more decisive clear, a follow-up, but that's what we pointed out. They're individuals rather than a team on the field, considering how much history they have. We'll have to consider how game two will be different, while Moist, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, this has been, again, a very cohesive look from Moist, and maybe one more follow-up. Yep, 5-0. Joyo, the icing on the cake here. And again, Moist, the passing has just been brilliant. And why? Well, Gladiators have allowed the space. They've given that space over to Moist. And even on telegraph pass, Gladiators just cannot catch up to the play. Moist, a masterclass here in game one.
There's another team that I know called Gladiators, and when they don't do well, it's Sadiators, Madiators.
Don't do that.
There's even a chant of like Sadiators, so, you know, the trend follows. When you call yourself such a strong name, you gotta have, but I don't know what the memes would be for Moist if they started losing or not doing well. I already made the drive references, but we'll save it as if
the headband comes off.
The headband comes off. Yeah. No more Hokage mode.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's nothing to be sad about here for Moist. Everything going according to plan. We mentioned it for 15 minutes before getting into the game, and even throughout. Moist, they've been favored, and you can see in the gameplay the possession coming out from Moist is just a little bit different here compared to Gladiators, and that's a fantastic little fake there from Juicy. Communication very much required there, and Joyo, I don't know what that means, but I like it.
He was doing, it's either a taunt or like the start of a really cool anime dance.
Okay.
And I don't want to weeb out too much because I already said Hokage, which I don't even know if I have to explain that to chat. So it might be doomed.
Might have to explain to me because I don't
know. No, I'll show you some TikToks later. But the only shot that I felt was like the most threatening one out of the Gladiators was the one that OSM had, but it was so low power that Cash had plenty of time to backflip, easily save it. But it's what threat level can Gladiators generate on the counterattack, which would be cool to see how they can experiment with that.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Is that a double fake on the kickoff? I believe it was. Well, this is interesting because, you know, we talk about kickoffs. They're a little not that exciting in a lot of cases because both teams kind of just slam their face into it, and they're trying to maybe force to the corner or something like that. The double fake, though, I like that coming out from the teams. I couldn't tell. It actually looked like it stuttered for a second, but I think they were both kind of trying to get something to happen, and when you both fake, it kind of looks goofy like that. But both teams trying to get something going. The kickoff, and Juicy can't put that one away. Couldn't get around it. And Joyo trying to make up for it. Here's Cash with a lot of boost. Needs the flip reset, but he's denied quickly by the defense now, being a bit more proactive from Gladiators.
Okay, Juicy with the flip reset, just to fake the one defender, but Gladiators, they have that layered defense, which makes it so Moist can only score 4, which is still a lot. But it means that Gladiators have struggled with the counterattack, these clears that could develop into something. but at least you're having better midfield presence by Gladiators and maybe a good challenge from LCT just to try and find the dunk, but Moist feels still in control.
And to be fair, I don't think it's lost on us here what OSM was trying to get going there at the end of game one. A lot of physical play. You saw a double demo come out from him. As you see there, Oxygen taking down Power. I heard Stacks and Daz right behind me going crazy. Something just happened. But a 4-2 in favor of Oxygen, finishing out that series as we continue here in game two.
Your attention span is better than mine.
I have ADHD. I hear everything. You know, I can't turn it off.
I feel like I have like dad ears where I'm just zoning everything out, and you got this 50 that goes to the net, and Moist. It was maybe slow getting game one started. I think only scoring once or twice in that first half, but hey, they're slow, but they ramp up.
Well, and again, we talked about it right at the beginning of this game, a little bit more proactive from Gladiators. So now you're not seeing Moist being able to just pass the ball around freely. And so Moist have had to work a little bit harder for it. This one's coming off the back wall. Both two players go from Gladiators as Max and OSM combine just to get this one to the halfway mark. But still, it's right back into the hands of Moist. You can see Joyo really forcing it by himself. Cash lets it go. Juicy's not going to bite. The defense trying to stay above water here. Joyo, multiple touches as Juicy couldn't follow up fast enough.
Hey, at least Moist maintained possession with that positioning from Juicy. Tries to land it in the box. Now Cash is centering it out. Who is that third man to maybe take that shot? And even Moist in this situation don't want to take too many risks. They keep the midfield presence because they know the two at the front can maintain control. As Juicy always getting real close to that back wall to see what angle he can cut as Cash just concedes this.
And one of the biggest telltale signs of a defense struggling to stay with the play is free touches off the back wall. You saw Moist there, a couple double taps that were just basically free touches. It was just too tough to get it on target. Here comes Juicy now. Maybe got a flip there, but it doesn't matter. Cash comes down and puts it away.
That was a cute pass. I have to see it on the replay too. Juicy's always kind of that spark plug, kind of just tips it to Cash, who pops it up, and I think that was LCT that tried to bump that second player off the ball, and good attempt, but again, when you have these 2-on-1 situations in favor of Moist, there is no saving that. Gladiators just have to be able to predict and get in the middle of that pain sandwich before it's delivered.
It has not tasted good here for Gladiators so far. A closer bout here so far in game two, but Moist certainly in control. I feel like Gladiators just got to bring the ball down and find possession a little bit quicker. Make that decision downfield. Maybe one here as it's turned away. That was a big opportunity, though, for Gladiators. Maybe their first one. Cash looming. Double tap. It's too high. And Gladiators happy to see that one bounce out. And here comes Max.
Gladiators, that was such a good setup, too, by OSM. But Max and LCT were just stacked on top of each other. But, hey, that was a good deny by Max. Stopping the passes. Here's the counterattack.
There it is.
Dunk it in, and Gladiators get their first goal of the series.
Finally, a good look here for Gladiators, and a quality clear that's followed up quickly, right? It forces Cash to go back. They just forced it through. Two go instead, and the last man in Moist can't bear to witness. And finally, Gladiators get on the board here on a counterattack. That's what we've been asking for, is to finally break through.
I like the Gladiators strat of like kind of the two-man in the trench coat situation.
Is he really tall, or is it two people?
One ticket to the Moist net, please. Because I was kind of criticizing how stacked Gladiators were because they weren't diversifying their positioning and they were too far forward to do something with the OSM setup in the previous play. And now actually being stacked together, they force their way through the net. So works out sometimes. Max, though, has the freedom in the skies to go for the clear. Right below them is OSM, who tucks it into the corner. Knew that Moist were ready to stop LCT in his tracks. And Gladiators, they don't got to take the easy shots. They got to take the best ones.
Yeah, and there's some chances there for Gladiators. This is a winnable game. Finding a little bit of time. This one's on target, but not enough power. Moist forced to give the ball up. Max going to get there in time. He does. Gladiators circling here if they could put one on target, but again, losing possession, and now Moist trying to capitalize.
Now LCT has to be careful with that. Thankfully, the ball didn't have a lot of bounce. Cash to the cross, the follow-up second touch. The crossbar's getting it today. Even Juicy whiffs. And that's a moment for Gladiators to punish, to look for the tying goal. Max, the flip reset, didn't get to the back of the net. 12 seconds for Gladiators to make it happen.
Double flip reset, not good enough, but Gladiators showing signs of life. Can they get downfield one more time? Moist trying to slow things down. Max, he's poked at 3, but he has no boost. He can't catch up. The touch was too heavy instead, and Moist up 2-0 here in this series.
God, we got a close game, though. That one time.
It was.
Yeah, 2-1, and Gladiators had 2 plays on the offense to look for the tying goal, and Moist, I don't think they've really, like, slowed down, because it feels like Gladiators are intercepting their passes a lot better, which feels a lot of Moist's offense have been more synergy-based, while Gladiators have been more solo, although the one goal they did have, it was kind of this whole team bulldozer coming into the net.
and again, look at the stats on the Moist side, particularly the saves. I mean, they were forced to make saves on their goal line. Gladiators, again, right at the end of this game, really had an uptick in offense. Found some confidence here, and you know, goals like that are still going in for Moist, but much better look here from Gladiators. Much better look, and the defense certainly held as strong as it could against what it was facing.
So, 2 games now for Moist. Got a lot of time left to go, but what do you think of Moist so far? I know it's like a lot of teams come in here with what they think is maybe teams of not their caliber. Maybe, I don't know what expectations Moist had of teams like this, but you picked them because you thought you could win. Are Moist meeting your expectations?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, game 1 was a really good game 1. I think Gladiators, you know, picked it up, but Moist still outclassed them in game 2. And they're trucking along. I don't have any complaints with the way Moist are playing.
Except that, like, the one thing we point out was like, wow, Moist just hit the cross like 3 different times. And they're like, my bad, just going to score off the kickoff here.
Yeah, no problems here. Great dunk there from Joyo, and OSM and Max still trying to get their bearings off a kickoff. Juicy, quick to the ball. 5 seconds is all it took. Moist Esports rolling.
And no timeouts yet either. The Gladiators even take one after this game. Maybe you should.
It's pretty stoic. I'm looking at the player cams there on Gladiators. I don't think anyone flinched watching this one going. No one's moved. No one's even blinked. I think I saw one from Max. Okay, there's a smile. There we go. But, you know, it hurts, right? You had a close game 2, one that you were in, and now you find yourselves down 2 goals in 8 seconds of game 3.
Gladiators just talking to themselves like, okay, can we stop messing up the kickoff so much? Like, if we're going to be aggro, let's not mess up our 3rd man. Let's keep the defense kicking too. But you're seeing Gladiators just disperse a bit more, but how do you stop Joyo? Looking for the pass. OSM pops it up. Here's Juicy to the cross. The second touch goes in. 3-0 Moist.
Oh, such a rough start here for Gladiators. Moist finding that world-class finish now. And this one just high, but he gets back to it. He's like playing it to himself.
I know.
He had a teammate there to follow up. He says, no, I got it. I'll put it away. 3-0 now. Moist taking over Juicy with 2 of them. And just a brutal start to game 3.
So, no, like, listening to First Touch, it's always like, oh, the cannon. Oh, Joyo's so good at the spring major. And then it's Juicy.
Yeah.
It's, can Juicy step up for this team? Because if he can, Moist could not only, well, make it out of Wildcard, they could go far. Like, thinking about, was it fall that they made the grand final against everyone's expectations? And Gladiators trying to beat their own expectations.
Little smile at OSM putting that one away, and LCT getting a good dunk there, and you can see Cash kind of got caught, thought he could turn back on it, realized he couldn't, and that let the space come through for OSM to put it on target, and a well-placed shot. Give him some credit there. OSM slotting it for Gladiators, and the first step on an uphill climb.
Feels like OSM is the glue to this team. He has 2 stars beside him, and he's the Galaxy trying to keep it all together. He did the setup in game 2, which had this kind of bulldozer play that we talked about. Game 1, he had some counterattacks that didn't have a lot of power just by himself, but when OSM can either set his team up or take a setup from his own team, that's where OSM can really shine. So we'll see if Gladiators can catch up by 2, but Moist firmly in control. Cash just had to center that one out. That was difficult, though.
And I will say, just a moment ago, we saw another fake come out from Moist. An aerial shot that they pulled off and let the next man go through. That's very tough for a defense to keep up with. It's not something super popular, but it's gaining you know, some momentum here in RLCS. A lot of fake shots, letting the next guy come through. Cash almost getting one. Double tap.
Wow.
Max still holding on to it. Gladiators able to get out.
It's a threatening offense produced by Moist, and 2 saves coming out of that for Gladiators. Here is the cross. by Gladiators. How they kind of try to recover this. OSM just too slow to that. Joy almost clears. LCT gets bumped off the ball, and Moist just robbed possession. Juicy styling on him. OSM reads it well, but here's that second player from Moist off the back wall in the box, and Gladiators with a clear.
And again, another clean touch to the back wall there from Joyo. It's very scary for Gladiators. Juicy again picking it up. One flip reset. Can he go all the way? He can. Max can't get there. And 4-1, Juicy getting a hat trick.
If Cash is the cannon, then Juicy is the rocket. Look, he's just sailing across. Crashes. Team Rocket blasts off again. 4-1 into the second half. And improvements are being made by Gladiators just to throw them a nugget. You know, it went from getting shut out to at least squeezing out 1 goal per game after that.
I like the pinch there from Max. That was a good choice. He almost got it too. It was half decent. But yeah, it's tough to be super complimentary of Gladiators with just the way some of these games, like game 1 and game 3 here, they've just been brutal. At least in game 3, you can go back and say, hey, well, the kickoff goals really put us behind so early. And you get one back, but man, the backboard has just been wide open for Moist. And honestly, the conversion rate from Moist is very low. I mean, uncharacteristic for them to hit the backboard this many times and not get the double taps.
Yeah, we got to get a whiteboard out.
Yeah.
And we got to start scoring like this is like synchronized swimming of just...
That's right, yeah.
No double tap, 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Juicy, though, he's kind of going for all these solo plays that I feel like Gladiators wish they could do mechanically. Moist are next level, but taking it to the ground, Moist can't crack that egg yet, but here comes Cash, has the flip reset, looking to flick it in, and Gladiators stack the net. They've denied a lot of shots out of Moist.
And that was a good little fake from Cash. Oh my gosh, he's gonna slot it. 4 goals for Juicy. Brilliant shot, because the thing is, you can kind of train a defense to know that you're gonna pass it, and Moist have passed so many times, and that was a perfect passing opportunity for Juicy, but instead says, nope, I'm gonna slot it behind you, I guess back post. He put it behind him near post, but still all the way to the back post. And Moist running away with game 3.
I hope Juicy gets credit after this series, because we were all questioning, can Juicy peak? Well, he is, but this is against Gladiators, a team that realistically Moist should beat. But can Juicy maintain this throughout Wildcard? Are Moist a threat to the top 4? Look at Cash go to Joyo. OSM, though, able to pre-jump in. He's usually got the denial. He's been able to read how crazy Moist have been playing and how creative they are with their passes. I mean, it's forced Moist to have to go for more solo plays, and you give it to Juicy. He makes the magic happen, and so does OSM on the other end.
Great work from OSM, and this is the play that I think Gladiators have been looking for the entire series, is bring it down, first touch, getting on to a dribble, and then beating the next man in front of you that happens to be the last man in this particular play. Great work from OSM to find that space and take advantage of it.
And you give credit to Max, who was trying to bump the player, the defender out of the way. Even though he didn't make contact, he forced that player out of the way, so it's the red carpet for someone like OSM, who's usually set up his teammates for those kind of shots, and now he realizes, well, just give me the ball and I'll make it happen. And look at that, Moist faking it out, just being so creative, just trying to juke Gladiators, who still have stop after stop, but it is still 5-2, so could have stopped more, I guess.
Hey, with some of these plays that Moist are pulling out, you got to give some credit to the defense here from Gladiators. They are sticking with the play on a lot of misdirection as game 3 trickles down. 5-2. Moist dominant here in this series so far.
Yeah, Moist are taking them the Gapplebees a little bit when it comes to the score, comes to the series, match point. No sweat on that brow, and even if he did.
You do not need the sweatband, Joel. You don't. It's maybe that's the superpower, though. That's why the series is going the way it is.
It's like his costume, right? You put on the jersey, you put on the bandana, you just become a different man.
And he's been looking great. I mean, again, we talked about, you know, we didn't put question marks on it, but rather just talking about, is the execution there from Joyo and Cash? This is the series to see that execution. It's been everyone. Juicy has looked fantastic, not even with the 4 goals here. Fantastic in his own right with communication, the passing, the shot creation, the shot opportunities that have been given over to Moist.
That was
They've
gross.
taken advantage.
And the mobile one high performance replay. My favorite one from Juicy was that like self pass.
Yeah.
Doesn't even need a team.
You can take your pick. You got 4 of them to choose from. How about this one? I think this might be my favorite. Because OSM, you see him, he crept out. He's like, okay, he's going to pass this. Because that was a very obvious thing to go and do, is to pass it. And instead, a beautiful shot from Juicy. And his team, better for it so far.
Because I was always thinking for the Gladiators, now that you have OSM, who had all this time as a coach, as a player, I always thought, oh, that's an advantage, right? You can coach mid-game. You can see these adjustments live, either within yourself or others. Is it low-key annoying to have your coach be like, yo, you could have played better that series, man, I'm not going to lie.
Sure it is. but you know, having that analysis and you know, introspection, I think, is important. And I'm sure OSM provides that. He's very vocal online as well about the game. So I think that's actually a very big positive for a lot of players. And so far, you got to keep that positivity. Oh my goodness, Cash. What on earth was this? How did he get the second touch with OSM? Oh, he didn't. Oh, he barely touched it, and still Cash stays with it.
Wow. Boys are peeking, and Gladiators usually have been able to stop those second touches. They protect their back wall well, but off the kickoff, some possession there by Gladiators as Max tosses Juicy out of the way. LCT steps up, and you're seeing Gladiators showing signs of synergy when otherwise in scrims and matches they haven't looked like they connected. Joyo to the back wall, and Cash can't clean it up. Gladiators intercepting the pass as well again.
I think that's the second freezy that Joyo's gone for. That time he got a great flick off of that. And you can feel the confidence there with just that touch alone. Joyo's going to get another one here just to block the clear. Max still is able to get out, and the demo. Cash has no boost, and another demo. How about 3 from Max? If he can get around, he's going to go back, and everyone went back from Gladiators here. Finally getting to the challenge. Fake. Max saw it. Back to Juicy. Juicy off the backboard, and Joyo. He's got boost. Opts for the pass, and a good read by OSM.
I got my whiteboard out again.
Yeah.
4 out of 10. Just kidding.
That one is 0.
Oh, wow. You're the mean one. But Gladiators, I think they have good setups at moments, you know, thinking about the demos from Max. Gladiators have been more of a physical team on the field, but in terms of positioning at different areas of the field so that they're just ready to recover, ready to react to the ball is where they fall through. It's good setup, but no second touches to generate that threat, at least consistently. At least execution, it's gotten better. Game 3, they got 2 goals versus the 1 in Game 2 and the 0 of Game 1.
Look out. A couple demos come through. Tough angle here for Juicy, and he's got a flip reset here. Can he get it through? The defense racing back to stop the clip. And Cash's pass is perfectly read by LCT, but the problem is Gladiators just can't hold on to the ball. Here comes Joyo.
Oh,
okay, bye-bye,
Joyo. Let's think at the same thing.
Absolutely clubbed by OSM, but here comes Cash. Another touch. Juicy's there. He drops it down, and no follow-up. The demo prevented that one from going in the end, and a great challenge from Max will get Gladiators out.
Just the fact that Gladiators were able to read that, but OSM with the challenge. LCT to the end, ties it 1-1.
Great defense from Gladiators. They hold on, and then this one gets away from Juicy. OSM picks it off, and quick to the ball is LCT. A tie ball game here in Game 4.
Going into the second half with a closer game. I was hearing from some casters that I don't think there's been a reverse sweep on land, so I'm going to use that stat.
Yeah, the best of 7. No best of 7 yet.
But every reverse sweep starts at 3-0.
Yeah.
When it comes to best of 7. I've said that so many times. LCT again!
Okay. And as we were talking, a lot of opportunity here for Gladiators. Again, proactive challenges are really leading to the best of them here for their offense. And this one came down to LCT off that challenge. Gladiators with their first lead.
LCT said, you ain't upgrading, because I'm going to peak in this last match, even if we die afterwards. Yeah. I'm going to look like a star. An OSM to right to Cash. Not a ton of passes from Gladiators, but setups that have sometimes cracked Moist defense every once in a while. It's the first time that Gladiators have had a lead. And Moist, time to wake up, finish out the series quick so you can go grab some lunch or whatever time it is.
Yeah.
This part of the world, but
dinner. Dinner here.
My West Coast mind is probably at lunch right now.
But yeah, no, it's looking a lot better from Gladiators offensively. Defensively, they've been able to put back Moist, and Moist now, it's on them to get something to go through here, but another quality challenge from Gladiators, and Max, that would have been a crazy touch, gets it out. And OSM, I just don't think was expecting it. Didn't have boost either.
Oh, yeah, LCT and OSM don't want to team bump each other and don't want to stack too far. And they kind of realize this as it happens, but as they're kind of trying to restructure themselves, Moist find the gap.
What a shot from Joyo. And OSM's touch, I don't know if Cash got a piece of him there, but it just got away from him and it just gave the ball up right to Moist. Joyo, you know he's going to make you punish. But at least in this game for Gladiators, you don't look back and say, man, the kickoffs are what held us back. Hold on, please don't curse. No, don't do it.
Oh, you cursed.
Because in game 3, it was, you know, what, 3 kickoffs that Gladiators gave up to Moist, and it's just like you're in the hole so quickly, you just can't get out.
It's the Swiss stage, because there's nothing but holes in this Gladiators defense that Moist have cracked through most of this series. Now Moist able to find that response, that goal, and almost a shot by Gladiators off the cross. How was the recovery, though? LCT lost in the sauce. OSM has to step up. Here's Max colliding into the corner. Gladiators got to make sure they don't leave their back end open, so they sent 2 people back for boost and almost conceded the ball to Moist as Gladiators fight for that midfield presence. Moist just take up all the space, and it's back to Moist trying to generate that offense, but a missed touch gives OSM a bit of freedom, but he's got 3 people on him, and Moist demo him.
Oh, look out. Here comes Joyo. Can he get back to what he does? Second touch, he got bumped off the ball. This one's winnable for Gladiators in game 4. Sparks of game 2, but this one feels a lot closer than that. Here comes Joyo, and he's beat to the ball. He knew he was. OSM using all of his boost. Maxu trying to throw this one downfield. 10 seconds left. LCT quickly up to this one. Can he get back to it? He can't. And you don't want to give Joyo the last laugh here as OSM and Maxu get tied up here. OSM, he's got a shot on target and a big save from Cash. The final seconds, Gladiators had a huge opportunity, but now they got to get through this kickoff.
And remember, we talked about the overtime stats for Moist, which haven't been strong when it came to the spring major. What I know, they just have to relax, stay composed, and play how they started the series, which hopefully you don't expect Moist to relax too much. Gladiators already had their net attacked right off a kickoff, so hearts are pounding. This could be the end of the series for Gladiators in favor of Moist. But so much freedom for Moist. Back wall protected there by OSM, but the ball conceded right back to Moist.
Yeah, you see Moist. Oh no, OSM side flip, but Cash missed. He missed. The shot's still on target. What on earth just happened? Gladiators still alive here in game 4.
Some dull whiff out there. OSM and Max, here's the counter attack. Now just trying to slow down the play. And the angle cut by Joyo, who wanted that shot. Juicy steps up while the others go for boost. Gladiators now kind of 2-man pitching that one away from him. Good Cash is set up on the right. Off the ceiling. Gladiators 50 and just are surviving. They're putting some flex tape on the boat so it doesn't go to the bottom of the ocean. But now Moist have their defense tested.
What a touch here from LCT. Got the fake as well. Just had to get through Juicy. There's the pass across. They're going for it, and Max denied.
Good height on the jumps from Moist just to have as much coverage as he could on the net. Juicy, don't give him freedom. He's peaked before. OSM ready, though. He's read him like a book. Out of Gladiators, they got good touches to regain possession, but the clears are something they've improved on. LCT with the second touch denied. Moist send it all the way back. Cash is ready in front of the box. Max almost misses that. Joyo pass to the right. Cash patient with it. Looks like LCT with the early challenge just goes to Joyo and whiffed at the goal line! And Moist take the 4-0!
Another whiff! And it was OSM, he was streaking across, he picked up the boost, and it was just didn't get the touch, and it trickles in for Moist for the 4-0. In the closest game we've seen in the series, it was winnable for Gladiators, but in the end, smiles all around for Moist.
Ball touches go back in favor of Gladiators too, 52%. That was a stat that you pointed out in game 1 where Moist just controlled all of the real estate.
Yeah. And typically, you know, again, it's not a stat that we use that much because it doesn't dictate a lot, but when it's like way, like 60%, you're like, oh no. But it's typical to go like 52-48, but Gladiators, they had their lead here in this game, excuse me. They had possession, they had opportunity. It wasn't like it wasn't there. It was not like game 1 or game 3 where Moist just running over them. Gladiators were in this game, and it just took a little bit too long for them to get going, to get acclimated here to this Moist squad.
Moist with the 4-0. Of course, that helps the game differential. But you saw Gladiators, once they took their headsets off, it's chill, it's fine. This is a learning experience. You don't get to play teams of this caliber too often. But I think Gladiators have their mindset. Can they do better than Elevate, their counterparts in APAC, who they've gone back and forth when it comes to that region. Moist have their sights set on bigger dogs in this story, but it'll be cool to see how kind of the other regions fare at the wildcard.
Yeah, hats off here to Gladiators, the tough series here against Moist, but that's all she wrote. Moist 4-0 over Gladiators. We've got more Rocket League coming up after this.